Hello, Steve White, Steve Arts 89. Well, I have to talk about my girls, my charmed girls. There's been lots of drama. Now, we all know that Shannon was fired from 2 Aaron Spelling shows. She was fired from 90210, I think, in the 3rd year, and she was fired from Charmed in the 3rd year. And she had a reputation for being difficult, and I think the assumption was she was impossible. And I think we just assumed that and just moved on. But after she got cancer recently, she was talking to Holly on her podcast, and when you are dying, basically, you have no, F's left to give. So they just told their truth, as we all, use that reference now, about the situation. It was very interesting, and a lot of people were surprised. Allegedly, what happened was, Alyssa Milano didn't like Shannon. She felt she didn't like the competition. She wanted to be the star of the show. And she basically faked a toxic work environment, exploited therapists and people that they had there to try and talk to them and negotiate stuff. And she basically gave Aaron Spelling the ultimatum of it's her or me, and if they didn't pick her, she was going to sue them for a toxic work environment, and she had all the therapist and proof and everything, and she was, going to win. And they chose her over Shannon. They fired her and they hired Rose. Now that's the story from them. Now the story and the story with Alyssa is that Shannon and Holly had been friends for years, and that it was like a bit of a mean girl experience, and that Shannon was horrible to her. I think that's what she's been saying. And she basically went to HR and she spoke to therapists and counselors and mediators and stuff, and she tried to do things the right way, and Shannon and Holly didn't engage, and that they fired Shannon, and she didn't really have anything to do with it on that level. She didn't make it happen. She didn't have the power to make it happen. Now there's a slightly different version of this story. Now she came out after they came out and said none of this happened. Basically, it's just revisionist. And what she really said was, after 25 years, it's all revisionism because we're all remembering things from so far away, And Shannon and Holly and Rose were doing a panel together at a convention, and and Alyssa is at the same convention doing her own panel because they won't have anything to do with her, and they can't be in the same room together, basically. And she says basically that didn't happen. So what I found interesting was I found out 2 things. One was that Tori Spelling got Shannon fired off 90210 back in the day, because she was also fired from that for being a bad girl. And it came out later that Tori had a problem with her, and she went to her father and got her fired. So this is the second time she's been fired from a show by someone else, allegedly. And there's another little tidbit, because Shannon and are going pretty hard on it, and it would be a lot easier for, I think, Alyssa to just say, yes, I did this, it was a long time ago, it was a toxic environment, I just wanted to get out of it, blah, blah, and just basically acknowledge it and try and move on instead of denying it. But Jason Presley got involved, and he didn't mean to because he spilled this tea years ago. Basically, Shannon called him because they were still in contact after she left 90210, and she called him up and said, I've got this great show on role on Charmed, and it's going to be great, blah, blah, and I can spin all my bad press, and we're creating this strong, older sort of character, blah, 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 and it's going to be perfect for me. And it worked really well. But then he said within 20 minutes, she was telling him how she hated Alyssa Milano and she couldn't work for her, and that she was going to give Aaron Spelling an ultimatum and say it was Alyssa or her. And he said, God, no, don't do this. Do you know how lucky you are to get a second hit show? Just show up, hit your mark, say your lines, don't cause any waves, just stop. And she's like, no, you don't understand. And she went on for 20 minutes about, this situation. And he tried really hard, and she just didn't listen to him. And then by the end of the season, she was fired. So that's what he wrote in his book, which was released well before this. So this is not news, but I guess no one on TikTok reads, because no one read his book and read that this was already said. And so apparently, allegedly, according to Jason Priestley, who I kind of trust for some reason, over all these girls fighting, that actually it was Shannon Doherty who gave Aaron Spelling the ultimatum. That was her or Alyssa. So, but did Alyssa have a ducks, in a row, and everyone, she spoke to the right people and had all the HR backup and all that to win that little battle? Did Shannon sort of throw down, not knowing who she was taking on? Maybe, but either way, she had a lot of trouble maintaining a career after that, with that reputation, and it hurt her a lot. And I'm not sure if it was all Alyssa's fault, but it's all very interesting and very messy, and I don't know what to think. I mean, I can see Shannon having a problem, having an attitude, and Alyssa being smart enough to know how to handle this professionally and coming out on top. I can see it going that way, and Shannon not being happy about that, because a lot of narcissists, they don't, see outside of themselves, and she just would have thought she would have won, and that Aaron would have chose her, of course, and she didn't even engage with the counsellors and that, and neither did Holly. And I don't think you do that when you're being bullied or in a toxic environment. You're going to be sort of reaching out for those lifelines and those ways to validate your side of things. And, I don't know what to think. I assumed all these years that Shannon was the bad one, and I loved Alyssa. And then it looked like Alyssa had some issues, because there's a few things people have been saying about her, but whether that's because of the politics and people just have to hate her because. And then this talk came out, and all the girls are against her, and then Jason is sort of also supporting Alyssa indirectly as well. I just don't know what to think anymore. So I'm going to go. Feel free to share, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think of these not so charmed ones.